What if I told you that everything you know about the modern world, movies, the internet, global politics, even the money in your wallet, could have been completely different, or maybe never existed at all? Now imagine this. No United States of America. No Hollywood. No Silicon Valley. No NASA. No dollar dominating global trade. The world we know disappears. So the real question is, what would the world look like if America never existed? And the answer is far more extreme than most people expect. To understand this alternate reality, we have to erase one of the most influential nations in modern history. Without the United States forming into a global superpower, the entire balance of power after the 18th and 19th centuries changes. Instead of a world where one dominant power eventually rises in the West, the world likely stays under the long influence of European empires for much longer. Britain, France, Spain, and possibly a stronger Germany or Russia continue competing for global dominance. But here's the difference. There is no single nation strong enough to replace America's future role. So instead of a clear leader of the world, you get a permanently divided system of competing empires, each trying to control trade, land, and influence. Now fast forward to the most critical moment in modern history, World War II. In our timeline, the United States plays a decisive role in defeating Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. But in this world, America does not exist. That single change completely breaks the balance of the war. Britain is already exhausted from years of fighting. The Soviet Union is powerful, but suffers massive internal strain and heavy losses. Europe is devastated and fragmented. Without American military production, financial support, and direct involvement, key operations like D-Day either never happen or fail completely. The war could last much longer, possibly dragging on for years beyond 1945. The outcome becomes uncertain. Nazi Germany might hold larger parts of Europe for longer, or the war might end in a negotiated global division instead of a clear Allied victory. In Asia, Japan's expansion could face different resistance patterns without American forces in the Pacific. The entire outcome of the 20th century is no longer guaranteed. After the war, our world entered a Cold War between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. But if America never existed, there is no two-sided global system. Instead, power becomes fragmented. The Soviet Union may still rise strongly, but it does not face a single equal rival like the United States. Europe might attempt to unify earlier or remain divided. Britain could hold on to influence longer, but would likely be too weakened to dominate globally. China, Japan, and other regional powers might rise in different ways, possibly earlier due to the absence of American influence in Asia. The result is not a stable two-power world, but a chaotic system of multiple regional powers constantly shifting alliances. Instead of one Cold War, there are several smaller geopolitical tensions happening at the same time across different regions. Economically, the absence of America changes everything even more dramatically. Today, the US dollar is the backbone of global trade. It is the main reserve currency used by banks and governments around the world. Without the United States, there is no dollar system. Global finance becomes fragmented. Perhaps the British pound remains dominant for a longer time, or Europe creates a stronger unified currency earlier, or the world never fully agrees on one system at all. That means international trade becomes more complicated, more expensive, and less stable. Globalization as we know it, fast shipping, instant global markets, interconnected economies, would likely develop much slower or in a completely different form. Technology is another area where the impact is massive. In our timeline, much of the digital revolution comes from American companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and later social media giants. Silicon Valley becomes the center of global innovation. Without America, that entire hub does not exist. Innovation still happens, but it is spread across different regions. Japan might lead in electronics, Germany might dominate engineering, Britain or France could take stronger roles in computing, but without one central innovation engine like Silicon Valley, technological progress is likely slower and more fragmented. The internet might still be invented, but its expansion, design, and global dominance would look completely different. Social media as we know it might appear later, or evolve in a totally different direction. Culturally, the absence of America completely reshapes global entertainment. Hollywood is not just a film industry. It is the most powerful cultural exporter in modern history. Without it, global pop culture looks completely different. No Marvel movies dominating the box office. No global American music trends shaping youth culture. Instead, entertainment power shifts to other regions. Bollywood in India could become the largest film industry in the world. European cinema might dominate artistic filmmaking. Japan and South Korea could become even more influential earlier in animation, film, and music. The result is a more regionally diverse cultural world, but without a single shared global entertainment identity like we have today. Space exploration also changes dramatically. Without NASA, the space race would look very different. The Soviet Union might still achieve major milestones, but without American competition and funding, progress in space exploration could slow down significantly. The moon landing might still happen, but likely later and under a different flag. Mars missions, deep space exploration, and satellite systems like GPS might be delayed or developed in alternative ways by different countries or international coalitions. So what does the modern world look like today in this timeline? Instead of one highly globalized system led by a superpower, the world is more divided into regional blocks. There is less standardization in finance, technology, and communication. Global progress still exists, but it is slower, less coordinated, and more fragmented. No single country dominates culture, economy, and innovation at the same time. The world might actually be more balanced in some ways, but also more unstable and less interconnected than the one we know. The biggest conclusion is this: the existence of one country reshaped the entire direction of human history. From wars to technology, from money to entertainment, almost every major system today is influenced by the United States in some way. Without it, the world is not just slightly different, it is completely rewritten. And that leads to one final question. How much of the world we live in today is the result of planned history, and how much of it is just chance?